Welcome back to Math Zen, everyone. In today's video, we will be exploring how the standard algorithm for division works when dealing with larger numbers. Let's go ahead and dive in.
Alright, today we're going to explore how the standard algorithm works when dealing with bigger numbers. Let's take a look at what's going on here. We have 3,487 divided by 23. Your first step would be to ask yourself, how many 23s can I take out of 3? The answer is 0. I tell my students to put an X there so that it holds that place value so that they don't accidentally put a digit there. Your second thought should be, how many 23s can I take out of 34? The answer is 1. 1 times 23 is 23. You would do your subtraction and get left with 11. And then you would bring down this 8. And then you would repeat that same thought process. How many 23s can I take out of 118? The answer would be 5. But I want to pause here for a minute and show you the work over here. I literally had to guess. I thought at first maybe I could take 4 groups of 23 away, and that gave me 92. And I thought to myself, maybe I could squeeze one more group of 23 out. So I tried 23 times 5, and it did indeed equal 115, which was exactly almost what I needed. So I put a 5 up here because 5 times 23 is 115. Did our subtraction, I was left with 3. I brought down the 7 to get left with 37. And again, I repeated that thought process and said, how many 23s can I take out of 37? The answer was 1. I did my subtraction and I was left with 14, and 14 was the remainder. Now, all of this over here is why I don't necessarily like this method, and I sort of prefer the partial quotients method. But that I'll leave up to you. All right, let's see if we can tackle one of these more difficult problems together. So let's start with 2,596 divided by 15. First thing you should ask yourself is, how many 15s can I get out of 2? The answer is none. How many 15s out of 25? The answer is 1. 1 times 15 is 15, and you would do your subtraction. We're going to get left with 0, we're going to get left with 1, and we're going to bring down this 9. And here is the roadblock with this strategy. I'm going to guess that we can take 6 groups of 15 out, but I have to do this scratch work on the side to see if I'm correct. So we're going to get a total of 90 over here. And I'm going to say, you know what, 90, it's pretty big, but I think I can squeak one more 15 out of the 109. So I'm going to do my scratch work to make sure. And I'm going to get a total of 105, which is what I wanted, or close to what I wanted. So to get that 105, though, we had to put a 7 up here. And then we do our subtraction, and we're left with 4. And then I bring down the 6. And at this point, it's pretty clear I can get 3 more groups of 15 out of 46, which will give me 45, which gives me a remainder of 1. So your final answer here would be 173. Remainder 1. All right, now that you've had some practice, it's your turn to try some of these on your own. If you'd like to pause the screen, now would be a good time to do so. All right, now that you've had a chance to look at this one on your own, let's compare answers to see how you did. First thing you should ask yourself is, how many 21s can I get out of 3? And the answer is none. Next, how many 21s can I get out of 34? And the answer is 1. 1 times 21 is 21. Do your subtraction, you're left with 13, and bring down the 6, you're left with 136, and you repeat that whole process. How many 21s can I get out of 136? The answer is 6. 6 times 21 is 126. Do your subtraction, and you are left with 10, and then bring down the 2 to make 102. And you repeat the process again. How many 21s can I get out of 102? And the answer is 4. 4 times 21 is 84. And we'll do our subtraction here, and we will get left with 18. In this case, 18 is our remainder. So if you got 164 remainder 18, give yourself a pat on the back.
And that's all there is to dividing larger numbers using the standard algorithm. Now that you've been armed with two solid methods for division, this and partial quotients, you should feel much more comfortable next time you come across a division problem. That's all for today. As always, don't forget to find your Math Zen.